So right now, if you were to ask a Bucks fan or somebody that works for the Bucks or maybe even a teammate, they might be a little down because Damian Lillard is out for the season, and this now makes the third straight season where injuries has kind of ruined the Bucks' playoff hopes. But Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing at a godly level, and I feel as though that the world isn't talking about it enough. If the Milwaukee Bucks want to have any success in the playoffs without Dame, Giannis is going to have to continue to play at this level. Over the last 7 games, Giannis Antetokounmpo has been averaging 33 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, and 9 assists on 68% true shooting and averaging 13 free throws a game. And in this video, we're going to be looking at some film first off. Then I'm going to give some suggestions of how Giannis should play on the floor to kind of generate the best offense for the Milwaukee Bucks, how that can translate into the playoffs for the Milwaukee Bucks, and what their ceiling is as a playoff team. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we talk basketball, I would like to thank you guys for joining at the Buzzer Sports, and let's talk basketball. So one thing I think is extremely important is you get Giannis in open space. So the second Giannis is ready to cross half court, Brook Lopez is already there to set a screen. So if we take a look, Giannis is just going to walk up the floor, and the second Brook Lopez has a body on his defender, Giannis is going to build the head of steam, which is already one of the most dangerous things in the NBA. So let's take a look at him getting downhill. I feel as though Gershon Yabusele should have met him right here. He should have met him right here. And I understand that Giannis still has the ability to get past you, but I feel as though Giannis with a head of steam is one of the most dangerous players in the NBA already. So he doesn't meet Giannis at the level, and now Giannis has a head of steam, and there's just nothing you can do. And he gets to the free throw line, and he converts. Here it is again. Giannis is standing at the half-court line, and Brook Lopez is ready to set him a screen. So if we take a look at Giannis just getting downhill once again, the second Brook Lopez is ready to set that screen, Giannis is about to go full head of steam to the rim. Now you have your most lengthy defenders in Ryan Dunn and Nick Richards that are on the floor right now outside of the paint. So who's going to be Giannis' stopper? Grayson Allen? Like, that's not going to work. So Giannis builds that head of steam, and I feel as though Nick Richards did a better job than Gershon Yabusele did, or maybe just the screen was a little bit lower, but either way, I don't think you're cutting off any momentum that Giannis has. So he gets to the rim easily, and he has Nick Richards on his hip, and he gets the and-one. It's that simple. It's that simple with Giannis. I'm sorry. Maybe I only added this play because I like it. Like, one, I'm not the biggest fan of guard. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not the biggest fan. I'm just a bigger fan of a dominant big. Like, I love watching Jokic play. I love watching Zach Randolph play. I love watching Zion play, Paolo, Giannis, guys that are just bullies. Like, I'm sorry. I love that type of play. So shit like this would make me stand up. It would make me stand up and beat on my chest like I got the N1. Anyway, Giannis is going to shield off Devin Booker, and if this was a good playmaker or a good passer, they would have got him the ball already. They would have gotten him the ball already. But Kyle Kuzma's looking to do that. He gets him the ball. Giannis immediately gets gravity, and we're going to talk about this in later in this video, but he also passes it back to Kuzma. Kuzma doesn't catch the ball, and then Giannis gets it back, and he's just like, you know what, bro? Let me just, yeah. And it's not like Giannis is just getting these easy assists. I mean, Giannis is actually reading the floor. Here, Quentin Grimes is a little too aggressive on the help on Brook Lopez. Giannis is going to notice a wide open Gary Trent Jr. in the corner, and he's going to make the no-look pass, giving Gary Trent a wide open three. It's that simple. And I'm not going to be the one that acts as if Giannis has been going up against some world-beating defensive teams. Ever since this run, or ever since I started tracking what Giannis has been doing, he's won against Sacramento, Phoenix, New York, Atlanta, Phoenix again, and then Philadelphia and Miami. Like, these aren't great defenses. But the second thing I'm not going to do is act like Giannis has not been playing at an otherworldly level. And some of my takeaways from the film is, for me to think that the Milwaukee Bucks can be a good enough offense to really win a playoff series, or maybe even two, which we're going to get into that later in the video. But I think the way you really get the best out of this Milwaukee Bucks offense and for them to hit their ceiling is for Giannis to attack the paint nonstop. And over this stretch that the Milwaukee Bucks have been playing at this level and Giannis has been playing at this level, they've been averaging 42% on threes on 36 attempts a game. And I think that has to do with how Giannis has been pressuring the rim. And if I'm Milwaukee and I'm Doc Rivers, Giannis, no more mid-range shots, no more jump shots, unless you are at the free throw line, which he's been averaging 13 free throws a game ever since the stretch that I've started tracking. You're not shooting the basketball. We're going to set very high picks the second you cross half court, and we're going to get you in the open floor. And guys like AJ Green, Kyle Kuzma, Gary Trent, Taurean Prince, Brook Lopez, they're going to have to make shots. Bobby Portis is coming back. They're going to have to make shots. And that's the scariest thing about all of this. Giannis is going to be able to get to the rim at will because defenses are going to build a wall. They're going to put 2 to 3 bodies on Giannis the second he gets inside the free throw line. It's going to be about KPJ. It's going to be about AJ Green. It's going to be about Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince, Brook Lopez. If these guys can hit their shots, I think they can win a playoff series. And I think Giannis knows that more because he's starting to get to the rim to the level that we've seen in previous years, and he's not starting to settle on that mid-range shot as much. And this is something we talked about on the Hoop Talk podcast with me and Mars. I posted the clip on TikTok. Make sure you go check out that podcast and make sure you go check out that TikTok. Mars said he thinks the fact that Giannis is taking more mid-range shots has made him less dangerous as a scorer. Because even if Giannis is hitting his mid-ranges at a career level clip, it's still not as dangerous as getting to the rim, and you're still letting teams off early for shooting that mid-range shot, and I 100% agree with that. Because I would argue that this Giannis that we have seen getting to the rim relentlessly and getting those high pick and rolls at the half-court line has made assists so much easier for him. He's been able to notice cutters. He's been able to notice open threes. And that may be why the Milwaukee Bucks are shooting 42% from three on 36 attempts. And I'm not going to lie, there's not much things I would want to see more than a 2018 Bron type playoff run from Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that gets me to my next segment, which is how far do I think this how far do I think this Milwaukee Bucks team can go if Giannis is playing at this level and Milwaukee is hitting the shots the way that they are? And as good as I think Giannis will be in the playoffs, I just don't see a world where they beat Cleveland or Boston. And I think it has nothing to do with how Giannis is going to play, but more of the Bucks' weaknesses and how the best teams in the league can counter those. The Bucks are not a good team in rotation defense in the half court. You have the Pacers who make you play in rotation a lot. You have the Boston Celtics who make you play in rotation a lot. The same with Cleveland. A team like Cleveland who runs heavy pick and roll. A team like Indiana who plays a lot in pace. And a team like Boston who have a 5-out offense. These guys are going to create rim pressure, whether it's the Cavs with their pick and roll or the Pacers with the way they play in the pace or Boston just attacking some of these guys one-on-one. So Brook Lopez is going to have to be really quick on his feet, and he just has not been quick on his feet over the past few years. But enough with the negative talk because the world literally is not talking about Giannis. I think he just had 35, 20, and 17. Like, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody. And I think a lot of people aren't talking about it because they don't have Dame. And we know that this could go very wrong in the playoffs. Giannis can get to the rim. He can average 37, 15, and 8 in the playoffs. And if KPJ, Gary Trent Jr., AJ Green, Taurean Prince, if they're not making their shots, they're probably going to lose in 6 games. And I also think that there have been a lot of interesting storylines over the past few weeks, especially with the Houston Rockets and how they've been playing, the Los Angeles Lakers beating the Thunder, the Boston Celtics who have been playing a lot better, the Golden State Warriors with their win streak and how they've been playing. There have been a lot of storylines heading into the playoffs, and I think Giannis is just being swept under the rug because he does not have his counterpart in Dame. But I promise you, if Dame was playing and Giannis was playing at this level, I feel as though there would be more coverage on how he was playing. And I think some people look at the defenses that he was going up against and saying, maybe this is not something we should pay as much attention to. But when you look at it, Giannis is getting doubled and triple teamed the second he crosses the free throw line. And that's still very tough to deal with. And this is extremely unfortunate for the Milwaukee Bucks and for Giannis, because if the Milwaukee Bucks lose in the first round, and they possibly will, depending on who they go against. And right now they're going against the New York Knicks. And if they lose, there's going to be some really disgusting takes on Giannis Antetokounmpo when I feel as though there's no way Giannis plays bad in this playoff run. I just don't believe it. If you take a look at some of the teams he's probably going to go against, which is either the Pacers or the Knicks, I just don't believe those defenses have enough to stop him. And I think he's going to play really well. But if the Bucks lose in like 6 games or 5 games, so many people are going to have some disgusting takes about him, and it's going to piss me off. So, ladies and gentlemen, how do you feel about how Giannis Antetokounmpo has been playing? Do you feel as though he needs more coverage on how he's been playing over the past 2 weeks? Do you think that this is fake news and he's going to be really bad in the playoffs? Or do you think he's going to have his 2018 LeBron run and go all the way to the NBA Finals? And with that being said, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at The Buzzer Sports. Make sure you follow me on TikTok at The Buzzer Sports. And make sure you follow me on X at ATB Sports 1. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.